All right, Shalom. Allah, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, and Kakadash, double honors to the apostles and to the elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. Much peace, love, and salutations to the hopeful elect that are pushing His word in truth and in sincerity of heart. Shalom. This is Brother Batak. Back again with another lesson, and Lord willing, this lesson be edifying. So this lesson is going to be about the current events of the war that's going on, between Israel and the United States versus this Iran. And there was a ceasefire agreement that was immediately violated by the state of Israel. So it says, I got the meaning of the word ceasefire. It says ceasefire. A ceasefire is a formal or informal agreement between warring parties, two different parties, to temporarily stop fighting, acting as a cessation of hostilities or truce, often used to facilitate negotiations, humanitarian aid, or to provide civilians with a respite from violence. It does not necessarily mark a permanent end to conflict, but rather a temporary pause. So there was a temporary pause on this conflict, and ultimately it was immediately violated because there are reports that have been coming out.
For 100.
Salakia, wrong video. There are reports coming out that the state of Israel has attacked Lebanon. So it says, these are the headlines. It says at least 182 killed as Israel strikes Lebanon without warning. And this happened yesterday. Lebanon under attack, hundreds killed. See? And they were supposed to be in a ceasefire. What does it show you? Who we're dealing with? Esau Edom he breaks his own covenants. The state was attacking Hezbollah, which is an Iranian proxy. So now this war will continue on. Iran might see this and be like, okay, we got you now, which these devils can't be trusted, man. That's why I wanted to do this lesson. The scripture says that he had peace, broken his own covenant. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 55, verse 20. It says, he hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He hath broken his covenant. See? So this is the same tactic that these devils be using. They try to so-called make peace, but really what they want to do is catch you off guard with your pants down. What's going on? What's going on with my app? I don't know what's going on with this. It doesn't usually look like this. Hold on. Why does it look like that? Can't see anything. Okay, hold on. Hold on. I don't know how to fix this. Oh. Okay, just bear with me. I don't know how to fix this. Because this is, Blue Letter Bible never be like that, bro. It never be like that. Salakia, this is very annoying. Wow, this is gotta be Satan fucking on my fucking phone. Because this blood I'm supposed to be looking like this, man. Look at this. Look at this shit, man. Look at this. I'm Salaki, man. Forgive me. I am trying to figure this shit out. I don't know what the hell is going on with this. I'm trying to read the. Alright, let me see. Turn it off. Okay, now let's try to turn it back on. Parallel. Parallel view is off. Let's turn it on. Go back. And it's still doing the same thing. So, okay. Alright. Let me just turn it off. Right now. Just turn it off. I don't know what's going on with it. But this is the book of Psalms, chapter 55. I'll figure that out later. 55 and verses 20. It says, He had put forth his hands against such, be at peace with him. He had broken his covenant. So let's go to the NLT since this phone acts stupid. NLT says, As for my companion, he betrayed his friends, he broke his promises. NLT, the BBE. He had put out his hand against those who were at peace with him. He had not kept his agreement. See? So they had a so-called ceasefire. That means nobody's supposed to, launch any attacks on anyone or make any fights against anyone for a period of time, 2 weeks. And now you have the state of Israel that took it upon themselves to break that ceasefire and launch some attacks on Iran's proxy, which is Lebanon, and killed hundreds of people, man, and injured thousands. So these devils, man, they are not to be trusted. The scripture says what? Never trust thine enemy. And that's what these nations are starting to see, that they can't trust America, or they can't trust the state of, the state I'm talking about, SOI. Let's see, what is the scripture that I was quoting? The book of Ecclesiasticus, or better known as Sirach, chapter 12, verse 10. It says, Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is its wickedness. So, you cannot trust these devils, man. Once something starts to rust, that rust, it does not go away. And guess what? When it comes to Esau's wickedness, it's just like rust. You may try to polish it, shine it, clean it, but that rust gonna come back, man. You see, let me go to ChatGPT. Describe the nature of rust. Let's see, just for edifications. Describe the nature. So we know Esau's is compared. The scriptures are comparing Esau's wickedness to rust, or the enemy, or comparing wickedness to rust. Describe the characteristics of rust. I believe that's what I said when I went to talk about it. Rust is a reddish brown substance that's formed when iron or steel reacts with oxygen and moisture. A process known as oxidation is characteristic and understood in physical blah blah blah. Let me see. Chemical characteristics, no structural material impact. Metal. Rust gradually eats away at iron or steel, reducing strength and integrity. As mentioned, rust occurs when okay, it's not giving me what I want. Let's see. See if I can fix. See what it says. See if I can fix it up. All right, it says metaphorically, rust is a powerful image for wickedness because of how it behaves quietly, persistently, and destructively. Like rust, wickedness often begins subtly. It may start as something small or overlooked, overlooked habit, a compromised value, a moment of dishonesty, but left unchecked, it spreads. See, just as oxidation slowly eats away at iron beneath the surface, wickedness can corrode a person's character from within, and that's exactly what Esau is. His rust is compared to wickedness because he's this process explains exactly how he is. Subtle. He's very subtle. You know, he may hide his wickedness, but really you will see it. It'll ultimately come to the light. It says rust also thrives in neglect. Metal that is cared for, clean, coated, protected, resists corrosion. In the same way, integrity requires attention. When vigilance fades, moral decay can take hold. It doesn't usually announce itself loudly. It develops in quiet corners. Another striking parallel is that rust is self-propagating because it's porous. It allows more air and moisture in, accelerating further damage. Wickedness can behave similarly. One wrong action makes the next easier, create a cycle that deepens over time. See? So this is a good example. This is why the scriptures compare the wickedness to rust. Sirach chapter 12, verse 10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness, because it gets corrupt. It's worse. It's subtle. You know, and I'm pretty sure Iran didn't see his strike coming. So Esau's wickedness is compared to rust, and this is a very, very clear breakdown of why rust is a good metaphorical um, comparison, if you will. It says there's also the aspects of hidden damage from a distance. Rust might seem superficial, but underneath the structure can be severely weakened. Likewise, outward appearance can conceal inner corruption. What seems intact may already be compromised, and that's how Esau hides. He tried to hide his wickedness with his outward appearance, but on the inside, they're ravening wolves. They're vultures. They're devils, man. When we say devil, we mean deceiver. We mean slanderer. Look up what the word devil means. So these devils, they portray an image like they're for peace, but like it says, hidden damage. They're secretly getting ready for war, but they claim that they're for peace. They want a ceasefire, and then all of a sudden you let your guard down, and he strikes you. It says finally, rust is a reminder that decay is easier than restoration. Once corrosion sets in, reversing it takes effort. Scraping, treating, sometimes replacing the metal entirely. Moral repair can be just as demanding, requiring honesty, accountability, and change. And these devils will never be changed, man. The scripture says, "Let favor be shown to the wicked. Let favor. So the way they are is how they're gonna be. They're not gonna change, man. You know, and those strikes, they broke their own covenant. They don't care. Them, the SOI, the state of they don't care, man. They don't give flying F-U-C-K. This is a book of Isaiah chapter 26, verse 10 in the NLT. It says, your kindness to the wickedness does not make them do good. Although others do right, the wicked keep doing wrong and take no notice of Yahweh's majesty. See? So it don't matter, man. You can never expect Esau Edom, which is identified in the Bible as the wicked. Malachi chapter 1, you can never expect him to do anything good. BBE says, even if you are kind to the evildoer, he will not go after righteousness. Even in the land of the upright, he will still go on in his wrongdoing and will not see the glory of the Lord. And who has that land now? Amalek, which is the grandson of Esau. You see? So they're of the family the family of Edom. So they're going to have these same characteristics. If the Lord called Esau Edom the wicked, then Amalek is part of that family tree, that same characteristic applies to them. All throughout history, Amalek has been known as um, a very, very wicked people, and not everybody likes them. And it's still the same today. Everybody hates the small hats, tiny tops, because they are from the seed of Edom, and they fit the characteristics of AMP says, though the wicked is shown compassion and favor, see, this ceasefire will be an example of compassion or favor or just agreement to stop going to war, stop killing each other. He does not learn righteousness. In the land of uprightness, he deals unjustly and refuses to see the majesty of Yahweh. So these devils, they make an agreement and they break their own covenants, man. They break covenants. They cannot be trusted. So this war is going to rage on. I'm pretty sure, I seen a report of Iran attacking, but I'm going to mention it, but I'm not going to go to the source because that source has not been really vetted yet. So I don't know if Iran has attacked again, because there could be false. So I'm not going to spread false information unless I know for a fact it happened. So with that being said, let me see, is there any scriptures I can think of? Let's see. No peace to the wicked. Find that scripture. Peace and safety. That's another scripture I can bring out. Isaiah chapter 57, verse 21, it says, there is no peace, said my power, to the wicked. Peace and safety. They're coming in that same spirit of peace and safety. I'm sorry. Peace and safety. First Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 3, it says, for when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. So, they had a ceasefire, and when ceasefire comes a period of peace. And as soon as that period of peace was established, all of a sudden came out of nowhere destruction. So there ain't gonna be no peace, man. There ain't gonna be nothing is not gonna get better. This war is gonna rage on. This might be the ushering in of the new system that Esau wants to put in place. It remains to be seen exactly what is gonna transpire from all of this. First Thessalonians 5, 3. For when they shall see peace and safety. Let's go to the NLT on that scripture. This is the book of 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse... I'm sorry, I'm at the wrong verse. Verse 3. I'm going to go to verse 3. First Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 3, it says, BBE, when they say there is peace and no danger, then sudden destruction will come on them. See? As birth pains on a woman with child, and they will not be able to get away from it. So if you're really thinking that there's going to be any peace, even if this war was to come to an end or stop, which is highly unlikely, there's still going to be war, man. We're living in a time of war, man. We're not living in a time of peace. And how about Shema Shah is going to reign, is bringing war to this world. World War III must happen in order for prophecy to be fulfilled. So it ain't going to be no peace. Destruction is going to come. The only time peace is going to reign on the earth is when Israel takes over. And I'm not talking about small hats. I'm talking about the true descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Man. The AMP says, while they are saying peace and safety, all is well and secure, then in a moment unforeseen, destruction will come upon them suddenly, like labor pains on a woman with child. You don't know when that baby's going to come. It comes unexpectedly. And that's exactly how this destruction is going to come ultimately for the masses of people. But the hopeful men, the men of the Lord, are going to be paying attention to all the events that's going on in the earth. Just like this attack came out of nowhere, that's an example of that. It says, and they will absolutely not escape, for there will be no way to escape the judgment of the Lord. See, nobody's going to escape the judgment. You may think we're living in times where things are going to get better and there's going to be peace in the Middle East. No, ain't none of that. The Most High is causing these nations to come together for war. The scriptures tell you there's not going to be no peace to the wicked. There was another scripture I wanted to get that I cannot remember. Lord willing, it comes back to me. So there's not going to be no peace. War is going to rage on. Give me a second. Well, I'm going to get this one. Zephaniah 3 and 8. It says, but therefore wait ye upon me, said Yahweh, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them my indignation, which is the Lord righteous anger, justifiable anger. It says, even all the fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured by the fire of my jealousy. See, the Most High is going to bring judgment on these nations. Ain't going to be no peace. Ain't going to be no safety. The only safety is with what? Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai. You see? So we are literally living in a time of destruction. This is nothing but, oh, there you go. There you go. Least of the flock shall draw them out of the flock. Let's see. I want to go to the one not least of the flock. Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 45. It says, therefore, hear ye the counsel of Yahweh, that he hath taken against Babylon, against America, since his purposes that he has purposed against the land of the Chaldees, also talking about America. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out, and surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. See? So the least of the flock is talking about those small heads, the tiny tops, man. You see, America agreed to a ceasefire, and then they attacked Lebanon. The SOI, they attacked Lebanon. That basically violates the ceasefire according to Iran. So things are getting interesting, man. You know, things are not going to get better for America. Things are only going to get worse. And ultimately, they want to bring down New World Order anyway, so they want to collapse this economy. So this war might rage on until it completely cripples everyone's economy. And then here comes the Great Reset. Here comes the micro C here. Here come the data centers, the UBIs, and the smart city, and the 15-minute cities. And, you know, the MOTB made mandatory under the penalties of death, which is the RFID micro C here. That's what the MOTB is. The C here. The radio frequency identification, CHIP. You see, that goes under the skin, on the right hair, on the forehead, or the left hand. You know, it don't matter. You take it, you're gonna face that punishment. So, Lord willing, do a video on that. Read verse 46 is at the noise of the taking of Babylon, the earth is moved and the cry is heard among the nations, because the Lord is going to take over. He's going to literally destroy this place. It's going to be laid desolate, and the whole world is going to witness it. You know, so with that, Lord willing, let's just edify. I'm going to close out by giving all praises and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakakodash, double honors to the apostles, and to the elders of Great Millstone who really teach well. Shalom. Salaki.